Welcome to the NPTE Final Frontier podcast, helping one student at a time. Visit npteff.com to enroll today so you can pass tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us here on the NPTE Final Frontier podcast. My name is Emily.
And my name is David. Today, we will be discussing how to recover from disappointing exam grades. So we all know about that initial shock, those emotions, those feelings, that feeling of a setback. Been there, done that. You just have to stand up and keep on pursuing through this. So something that I have felt, and we've all felt this, but once you open up that exam grade and you see that all of your work, it did not necessarily pay off, and once you see that, it's so important to recognize that that grade doesn't actually mean that you have not studied. It doesn't mean that you have not studied properly, that you haven't progressed, that you haven't improved. It just means that more work has to be done. What do you think, Emily?
I think it's really important to understand that one single exam or even a combination of exams do not define you. They don't define your capabilities, and they don't define you as a future clinician. What you need to do is take a step back, use that exam as a learning experience, figure out maybe why did you not score as well as you wanted to, or as well as maybe you thought you did before you really saw the feedback, and not to harp on it. So instead, learn from it and move on so that you can use this to help with the next upcoming exam. So then I think goes into this is, how do you recover from this exam? So David, what would you recommend you do from here?
So I think that recovery is so important because it's so easy to stay on that ground after being knocked down. And unfortunately, if you stay down there long enough, you're going to get comfortable down there. So it's so important to recover quickly. Of course, take some time, rest up, hang out with your friends and your family, but you have to stand back up because once you get comfortable down there, you are going to stay down there. So whatever action you start to take, you just have to take it. You cannot be scared. You cannot hold this and can't continue to carry this around with you as if it was baggage. You have to let it go, leave it in the past, focus on the present to create the future. How
And
about you?
with that being said, I think in terms of recovery, you also need to figure out, okay, what is the exam that you got the disappointing grade on? Was it a practice exam? Was it the NPTE itself? Or was it a smaller quiz? Because I think there's different types of recovery for those different types of exams. So for example, a practice exam, those exams are meant to learn from and grow from. They're meant to make mistakes so that you don't make them for the exam itself. So maybe you don't take as much time to recover from a practice exam because the upcoming NPTE is approaching, so that you need to use as a quicker turnaround. Unlike the NPTE, right? The biggest exam, let's say we don't get the exam we wanted to, the grades we wanted to. This means that we need to sit for another exam and go through the study process again. That you need to take more time to recover. You need to take a step back, take some time to regroup, take some deep breaths, get your focus away from studies for a short amount of time until you're ready to kind of dive right back into studies.
That's for sure. And it's something that could really help is assessing that feedback report properly. I think that for myself, something that's so important is right away, write down 5 to 10 topics or weaknesses that you know that you are having trouble with. Just topics that if you sit for this exam or practice exam next week, that if you do not look at this topic again, you are going to kick yourself over. You are going to not like yourself because you know that you needed help in this topic, this area, such as arterial blood gases, and you know that you did not review it as much as you wanted to, but you didn't take the time to do it. So something that really helps and that helped me out was write it on paper. This way, when you have those moments where you're like, I don't know what to study. I don't know what to review. I think I reviewed every single thing I was supposed to. I don't know what to go back to. Well, now you can go to this focus list. You can look at it. It will help you sort out your thoughts, because sometimes having all of your thoughts up in your mind can be so conflicting and so confusing. So having it on a piece of paper, that will help direct you so easily. And something else I think is so valuable, of course, besides looking at the categories, is recognizing the section breakdown. So section 1 and 2, are you low in those sections? Because those sections, maybe it is the anxiety, maybe it's the stress. With Final Frontier, we offer a free mini course on exam anxiety created by a team of clinical psychologists that's on the course page for every student to take. That would be highly recommended to scroll through at your own pace. And then in addition to that, if you notice that maybe section 4, section 5, you start to find that it's low, well, maybe that's related to your level of endurance. Maybe you have to start to study for longer chunks of time. Maybe you have to realize that you have to close your eyes a little bit and have a mental escape from the exam. What do you think?
I will forever say and continue to say that I think one of the most effective ways to study and prepare for the NPTE is to review rationales, review answer feedback, and learn from each question. It's such an amazing tool to utilize to study, and it's definitely something that students should be taking time to do. But in addition to assessing feedback of questions, another way to kind of take a step back is to assess your study approach. So you got a disappointing exam grade. Okay. What did you do to study? What did you do to prepare for the exam that you felt as though was beneficial? Also, what do you feel as though maybe that just isn't clicking while you're studying? There are different ways to study and different ways to approach the upcoming exam. And you need to figure out early on and throughout what is working, what are effective ways for you to study, and what are ways that you feel as though aren't as effective for you in your studies. And that is different per person. So you do need to kind of hold yourself accountable and see what is working and what isn't, which next goes into action. What are you going to now do? What are you going to do to change the outcome of the upcoming exams and learn from these things? So, David, what's some advice you have on how you can take action moving forward?
So that is so important, like you mentioned, taking action, progressing forward. I think that's something so important. It's just like Nike, just do it. We can easily talk it, but talk is cheap. Action. You need to step up to the plate. You need to stand up. You need to fight for this. Fight for yourself. Fight for this exam. Fight for your dream. If you do not take action, if you do not take those steps forward, then you are going to remain. You are going to remain actually exactly where you started. So taking action is so important.
And with that, I know taking action can sometimes be scary, especially as a student. We get comfortable in a study approach, our flow of how we're preparing for the exam. And it can be scary to say, okay, I need to make some changes. I need to adjust this approach. But what's important to know is you need to take that leap of faith and trust your gut. If you know something you're doing may not be as beneficial for you, which is affecting your exam score outcomes, then it's time for you to take that stand and make that change. And do not forget, the entire Final Frontier team is here to help you. We're here to talk through some different study approaches, talk through some of this feedback, and help gain confidence to get you back on track, to get those exam scores up and make you feel confident and comfortable going into the upcoming exams.
Now that you understand how to recover from a disappointing exam grade, here is a quote from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Your best teacher is your last mistake. So make sure that you keep on making those mistakes. Those mistakes are incredible because in order to learn, in order to know what you have to be doing differently, you need to make those mistakes. because that truly is how you grow. You are powerful. You are strong. You are a final frontier warrior. You will pass.
Thank you very much for listening. For more information on the NPTE Final Frontier, please visit npteff.com. You can also check out all of our social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Till next time, have a great day and a powerful tomorrow.